So we're in the little village of Blérancourt, sort of northeast of Paris. I don't know, maybe about an hour, 2 hours away. We just came here last night because we're on our way over to Reims, which is a town that we stayed near before, and we got some Amazon packages shipped there, or so I thought. I ordered some workbooks for school for Luca, and a little pocket knife, pink one, for Mila. She just turned 12 a month ago, and I told them on their 12th birthday they can pick their own pocket knife, their first dangerous toy. So Mila's been holding out for pink Swiss Army pocket knife, so we found one, and I had ordered it, thought I was sending it there. Turns out I'm sending it 300 miles the other way. So that's not going to happen today, but I did order a backup or a replacement that's going to the right place. That'll be there tomorrow. So we're on our way over there. So we just stopped here last night because it's sort of a halfway point spot from where we were yesterday. In the middle of sort of the French countryside, we just came to this spot for an overnight parking, and then didn't realize there's a museum of French-American cooperation right here. Just totally random. And then there's a memorial over here of a woman called Anne Murray Dyke, who was an American woman, immigrated from Scotland in the early 20th century to America, came back to France to help out in the World War I efforts, and I think she's buried in this town, and I think this might have been her former residence that's now turned into the museum, something like that. I don't know. It is pretty random that we parked right here next to this museum. Just so happens it is a museum of Franco-American history right here in the middle of the French countryside. So I believe this is not Anne Murray Dyke. I think that's Anne Morgan, which, from a little bit of research, I found out that she and Anne Murray Dyke were sort of partners on this sort of endeavor to help out the French people. And I guess after World War I, she said she was driving across the French countryside just seeing ruins devastated everywhere from World War I, and just really wanted to help out. So they lived together, Anne Murray Dyke and Anne Morgan right here, but not really sure what their relationship is. If it's more than friends, if it's just friends, doesn't say. Somebody probably knows. Anyways, we're here. We're gonna leave today, but before we do that, we might go check out the museum. Maybe, we'll see. Currently, I'm in the middle of editing all of the videos we shot in Ireland, and I made an intro for this sort of Ireland series, which talks about our journey around all of or as much of the British Isles as we can, which Ireland is part of the British Isles, geographically speaking. And of course, I understand the sensitivity between the Republic of Ireland and the United Kingdom, and also just sort of the British culture and the Irish culture and the recent political conflicts with all that. But you know what? There's been a couple of comments on those videos that talks about it, but what a lot of people fail to realize is that the British Isles is a geographical term that refers to the entire archipelago that consists of over 6,000 islands. Has nothing to do with politics, and I know it's controversial for some people in the Republic of Ireland to hear the name British Isles and having the island of Ireland lumped into it. But if you look at the geographical name, take away the politics, that's what it's called. And in fact, it's called the British Isles not because of the British Empire or the Kingdom of Great Britain or any of that colonial imperial stuff. It was named in 500 BC, and we're talking more than 2,500 years ago, by ancient Greeks who were seafarers, who were out there exploring the open water. They're the ones that coined the name the British Isles. Even the Romans, when they were controlling the British Isles more than 1,000 years later, they still called it the British Isles. Thousands of years from now, it'll still be called the British Isles. Even after there's no more, perhaps there won't be even a country called the UK by then. Perhaps there won't even be a country called the Republic of Ireland by then. But people will still call it the British Isles because history doesn't change. History is what it is. It's been set in stone. 2,500 years ago, ancient Greeks named the archipelago the British Isles. And that's what it's called. Sure, it's sensitive and controversial to some, but it doesn't change the geographical name. But anyways, I just thought I'd mention that. This video is going up on my Ramblings with Dan's channel, which I don't know what happened. I never publicized this channel, and for a long time I was posting this channel for our Patreon supporters, but for some reason people have been slowly discovering it, and then they're following, subscribing to my channel here, Ramblings with Dan. It's not a big number. I think I'm up to close to maybe 70 subscribers on this channel, but really I just wanted to put stuff up here on this channel that's more real time, you know, so I'm not like a couple months behind like I am with my Irish videos, so you guys can have a better idea. The people that really care to follow have a better idea about where I am. So yeah, though, for those of you that made your way over to this channel and you're watching this video, I'd love to know, how did you find it, and what are you expecting for me to share here besides the kind of stuff that I've shared in these last few videos. Let me know in the comments. But anyways, today we're in the countryside of France, and we might go to this museum, we might not. Either way, we're gonna head out of here and make our way towards Reims. Well, it is now the next day. We're at a different spot. We are probably about an hour, maybe an hour and a half from where we were yesterday, by that Franco-American Museum. And this is south of the town of Reims. I don't know how you say that in French, actually, so I'm probably saying it really wrong, and to that I apologize. But yeah, I just want to wrap up a thought I had yesterday. I mean, this is the Ramblings channel, right? So I'm gonna ramble a bit from time to time, or maybe most of the time. So, you know, the controversy between using the word or the name British Isles to refer to the island of Ireland is a real one, you know, because there's a lot of harsh sentiments still, and it's an ongoing problem with Irish people, politically Irish people, ethnically Irish people, and also the British people, both ethnically and politically defined as British people. So, you know, for us to kind of refer to it as a geographical term while being accurate, you know, there are some aspects of it that's worth considering. And I just want to point out that I'm not a person who's unfamiliar with the topic, and a lot of you guys probably don't know that I'm an immigrant to the United States from Taiwan, and a lot of people don't understand the political situation, the geographical situation with Taiwan. You've been hearing about it in the news a lot lately, but Taiwan arguably has a very similar situation with the relationship that Ireland has with the UK versus the relationship Taiwan has with mainland China. Obviously, there's a lot of differences, but I would say there's also a lot of similarities. And as far as Taiwan goes, there is native people that are from Taiwan. I mean, I'm not talking about the indigenous native people, although there's a lot of that too. But there are people who refer to themselves as Taiwanese and not Chinese, right? But Taiwan is considered part of mainland China, part of the People's Republic of China, controlled by the Communist Party, by the Communist Party government in mainland China. And that is something that is ongoing, even though Taiwan, which is officially called the Republic of China, has continually disputed that claim. But any claims of independence will essentially stoke war, will stoke military action on mainland China. So this is an ongoing conflict that's been happening since the 1940s. And if you guys, we need a little bit of sort of background on this. In the 1940s, during and shortly following the Chinese Civil War, or the World War II was the Chinese Civil War, because the Chinese government, prior to it being a communist government, was a democratic government. It was called the Republic of China after its succession, after its overturning of Imperial China. Not too different from what the Irish wanted to do with the imperial colonization of the United Kingdom, or the Kingdom of Great Britain as it was once called. But because the democratic government, the Republic of China, lost the war, lost the Chinese Civil War, it retreated to Taiwan and established its democratic government there. And that is where it remains. And some people there still have thoughts of reunification, meaning taking back over mainland, but most of that is, the only hope for it is really through means of economics, right? Overwhelming positive economics that hopefully will overturn the communist government. But with the Communist Party still in power and mainland China's economy on the rise, that's starting to look less and less likely. But nonetheless, although, like I said, there's a lot of differences, there's also some similarities. So what I'm saying is that this is a situation, this is a level of sensitivity that I'm aware of, that I totally understand. However, geography still remains geography. History is history. Taiwan is Taiwan. Ireland is Ireland. Great Britain, the island, geographically is called Great Britain because it is the biggest island in the British Isles. Ireland is part of the British Isles, geographically and historically, not politically. Just like Taiwan, geographically, is part of Asia. Historically, it was part of China. Still, politically, the communist government still consider it part of China, but politically, the Taiwan government, the democratic government in Taiwan, does not consider it part of the Communist Party. So, all that just to illustrate that I'm not unfamiliar with the situation. However, you know, it's important to keep politics where it is, and geography and history where that is. That's all I have to say. That's my rambling for the day. Anyways, we're gonna get out of here, and I'll see you guys in the next video.